Hiya, niece.
I'm just a poor old woman, dear. No need to trouble yourself with me.
We'll be the one to decide that. Helgi, dear, why do you hesitate? You can feel the power coursing in your blood. You have only to reach out and grasp it. Announce that boy of yours and come live with me in the forest. My sister will be here soon. Together we can form a proper coven. Training will truly begin. That skull just freaked out. The paper mirror. Anonymous. The hero was curious. It was not an uncommon affliction for people his age, but for Ham Goblin, it was almost a sickness. Whoa, this is about me. It was the reason he stole into the witch's cabin, and the reason he was reading now for books, but another kind of door, and to open them was to open a world of possibilities. In Skyrim, Ham Goblin had opened many doors like this one, and they all made the same promise. Behind it were tales of conspiracy, tragedy, valor, sacrifice, and sometimes even love. The more doors you opened, the further you descended, losing yourself in every chamber, every corner of the room, every room. But alas, behind this door he found neither knights nor sorcery, nobles nor thieves. There were no clashes between light and dark, sword and shield, earth and sky. All he found was the empty room, save for a single object placed in the center. Mirror. This is not to say it was an ordinary mirror. The surface was fluid, almost as if it were about to spill out of its thick brass frame. If it did move, it moved slowly, yet it could hardly be called calm. It was thick, cold, and most of all, murky. Now the wise adventurer might turn away from such an ominous thing. The curious one can't resist taking a peek. As for what Ham Goblin saw, suffice to say he wasn't entirely sure. However, weeks later, long after he closed the door and continued on his adventures, Ham Goblin couldn't help but feel a hint of recognition when he walked into the Wind Peak Inn and approached a stranger by the wall. "What are you looking at?" the man asked, bending his lips in a scowl. Ham Goblin tried his best not to smile. Somehow, he already knew the man's name, his occupation, and what he was standing there for. In short, Ham Goblin knew exactly what he was looking at. What he didn't know was how. "Your name's Theron, I take it. I'm here about the job." Interesting. Whoa. Oh, it sounds like she's already dead. I need candle, whatever. Candle, whatever. Is the glass bow now? So I have to go Dunster, which it looks like I have not been in. Okay. So, I will go to this Whiterun stables.
Need a ride? I can take you to any of the hold capitals. Where do you want to go?
Dawnstar, I think?
Climb and back, and we'll be off.
Outlaw, it's 9715. How you doing, man? Hello.
Nice weather for a ride. Hope it lasts. It's almost getting down.
Snowberries! I'm thirsty.
Dawnstar and the Sea of Ghosts. I had never seen the ocean till I came to Skyrim. Even now, it's every breath that stumps.
They say that vampires attacked the Hall of the Vigilant, burned it to the ground. It's a curse. You must be one of those wizards from the college in Winterhold.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's what I'm wearing.
They're just dreams.
You put on my titty cover again. I'm not wearing a ring, am I? Oh yeah, no, I'm not.
Tell her, Erandur.
Listen to your friend, Fuki. They are just dreams, my dear. I assure you that it is quite normal.
It's the same dream over and over again. You think that's normal? It's evil, I tell you.
Erandur, she has a point. You keep telling us no harm will follow these dreams, but they must be an omen.
Give him a chance to speak. He's trying to help us.
Everyone, please. I'm doing what I can to end these nightmares. In the meantime, all I ask is you remain strong and put your trust in Lady Mara.
I will. Thank you.
Interesting.
The Wind Peak Inn features the finest bard in all of Dawnstar. Me.
You
I
look like
envy
a
you
hooker.
travelers. Dreams aren't affecting anyone not from here.
Do you work here all day?
Yes. Ever since my mother died a few winters ago. I play songs and help with the drinks when I have the time.
Alright.
Alright then.
What are you looking at?
Name's Theron, I take it. I'm here about the job.
Oh yeah? You're a bit scrawnier than the way Argus described you. But I'll be your weakling's uncle the day he tells it true. I suppose the snowback didn't bother to tell you what the job's about, either. Don't worry, it ain't a long story. Follow me.
I was wondering, Father, maybe...
That's better. Gotta love that fresh winter air. Now, about the job. I doubt Argus told you this, but I used to be a bandit. Had a crew that numbered 24 not a month ago. We were making good coin, raiding caravans and the occasional mine, until one of them decides he wants a bigger slice of the pie. My slice. Don't know how we convinced the others, but about 6 of them made rounds around the camp, cutting throats. All my men dead as dog meat.
Fucked up.
Wolves outside must have smelled it too, because they started howling. It was them beasts that gave me enough time to figure out what was going on and slip out the back way. Funny part is, I'd been nagging the boys to kill those things for weeks.
So, you want revenge now?
For starters, yeah, but getting the hideout back is just as important. It's an old mining shaft. Redorian's Retreat is what they call it, though I can't say why. Just meet me outside the entrance when you're ready.
Okay. Interesting.
Word is the College of Mages is back to normal. There's such a thing for that lot.
Is it? Okay, so how far away is this? Oh my god. Wait, no, that's not it. Wait. Where is it? It is right here? I don't want it to be nighttime when we get there. It's probably going to be. I'll just get there and I'll wait. Fuck it.
Yeah.
The fuck?
The first time I heard the song about the maiden was from a bandit I slew. That night I failed miserably to remove it from my head.
Good. You're all here. The plan's simple. We go in and kill everything on 2 legs. Except for the chief. I'll have him crawling on all 4s.
That's what she said.
Any questions?
Yeah, boss, I got a question. What if they have dogs? Wouldn't they be on 4 legs instead of 2? Would you want us to spare them, seeing as they ain't but stupid mutts?
I'm confused as well. You say kill everything on 2 legs, but don't that include us?
You idiots! Just kill everything in the cave, except the 4 of us. Got it?
Yeah, these guys are kind of retarded. With my followers, that makes 6 of us. That's a lot of fucking people. Nothing. Give me your loot! I like that noise. That's a good noise. Oh, God. What are you doing, bro? Just sucking life. Sucking dick at life right now, bro. Go suck dick at life over there.
Wizards. My path. No, that's power. Bet they got this.
What's that? Time to end this with the game.
Oh! That is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something more like, probably that.
I'll show you.
Oh God, he cut my head off. Alright, well, I know now what not to do. I hit him right in his paw. And... that was a good shot. Made him eat that arrow.
What was you doing? Fools never saw me bring that ace. Rough stuff. Just take it and go. Might pay off my bounty this time. Walk into the city of... man.
Was a woman? Is someone there?
Oh,
I cannot rest you!
Enough! This ends now!
True lords never back down!
wait, did I already read Volume 2? I have it already? No, I don't. Oh yeah, I can harvest blood. I forgot I got orc blood now. finger, couldn't I? Aaron looked at the assortment of bedrolls, dressers, and barrels scattered across the living quarters. The place was a mess, but not in the way he remembered. Bedrolls were facing the wrong way. Mead had been swapped out for ale. It was a bandit lair, all right, the same as the others, but entirely different. Talos's beard. I hardly recognized the place. Is that a sodding book on the table? He said, returning to the things he did recognize. Weapon racks, purses full of a few trophies from back when the was whole. Every one of these things has a story, he said, beaming like a proud father whose children had just come. Take this pendant, for example. Got it off a carriage moving his family to solitude. It was locked in a safe. As we might, nobody could crack it. This noble, he tried to bargain with me, saying he'd open the safe if I'd spare his blushing bride. So I said, sure, a deal's a deal. Open the safe and I won't lay a hand on your... Of course, I never said anything about my men. There was something about the way Theron chortled that bothered Ham Goblin. It was kind of a bestial laugh, the kind of foul grunt that makes you forget he was once a man. It was the same laugh that haunted the writer's dreams. Even now, alone at his table, castle door dungeon, it crawled over his bones, reminding him of that horrible night. It was a laugh that shrunk his very soul. Anyway, the funny part is I couldn't pawn it, Theron continued. Bloody inscription on the back. To my darling Cassandra. Why couldn't he have just married a girl named Helga? For Theron, there was a point to this story. It was Argus who told him the pendant couldn't be fenced, and it was Argus who sent him a letter the day before. The sellsword he had promised Theron would not be coming. The Nord had failed to come through once more. The question was, who was the impostor who seemed otherwise? Theron approached the stranger, his hand shadowing his sword hilt. Of course I blame Argus, he said. If he was half the fence he claimed to be, you could sell the thing for twice what it was worth. Not that I need to tell you, seeing as you used to work. Theron's lip twisted into a rictus. To a rictus? What? Blood was still simmering from having killed Javid, and now there was another traitor he needed to deal with. Where did you say you two met anyway?
Talos's beard. I hardly recognize the place. Is that a sodding book on the table? No, this is more like it. Every one of these things has a story. Take this pendant, for example. Got it off a carriage moving a noble's family to solitude. It was locked in a safe, you see, and try as we might, nobody could crack it. This noble, he tried to bargain with me, saying he'd open the safe if I spared his blushing bride. So I said, sure, deal's a deal. Open the safe and I won't lay a hand on your girl. Of course, never said anything about my men. Anyway, the funny part is I couldn't pawn it with the bloody inscription on the back. To my darling Cassandra. I couldn't even just married a girl named Helga. Of course, I blame Argus. If he was half the fence he claimed to be, he could sell the thing for twice what it was worth. Not that I need to tell you, seeing as how you used to work for him. Where did you say you two met, anyway?
I don't know, Argus, to be honest. You insisted I did.
And yet you played along. Seems to me you could have just came clean then. I don't know who sent you, but either way, you can't be trusted. Now, you're going to die.
Incorrect. Ham, a lamb, ding, dang, dan. Paper Mirror Volume 2. Okay.
I once looked down upon rogues as failures of moral conscience. Now I know how easy it is to fall prey to debasement.
I want to see what his copy said, the version 2. Javid was always the clever one. Sharper than Skyforged steel, they used to say, and that went double for his smithing work. When Yorland Greymane fell ill one season, many of the boys joked that Javid ought to take his place. You never want to follow a legend the Redguard script. You want to follow the poor fool who tries. Theron, by contrast, was a bandit. His face cut out from the sketch for the wanted poster. He was stronger than the others, meaner than just about anyone, and would have been chief had the clans not agreed to follow the elf. Jackson, hi, I just had a sexy piano concert. Like, you perform piano? Fuck yeah. When the wood elf turned himself in, it was Javid who warned him things would go sour. They relied on the elf for everything, planning and coordinating the raids to rationing out the spoils. When he was in charge, they operated like a proper guild. Without him, they were just bandits. Still, becoming chief of the clan was something Theron had wanted for years. If he passed on the opportunity now, he might never get another chance. Besides, Theron suspected the wood elf was hardly the genius Javid made him out to be. After all, if he was really so smart, why did he turn himself in? The grumbling started almost immediately. The wood elf always knew the schedules, the number of guards, and the valuables they were carrying. Under Theron, the boys would stand outside for days in the rain, and not a single carriage would come by. Theron had also promised the men larger cuts, since the spoils weren't divided with the townsfolk. Yet, while the cuts were larger, the haul was but a pittance of what it used to be. One carriage was completely empty save for a single book. The night of the coup, Theron had fell asleep trying to read that book. First time, he skipped to the end and the part about the road. This time, determined to read it cover to cover, he never made it past the first page. Still, the words of the Redguard echoed in his mind, long after he had drifted into Vermina's embrace. You never want to follow a legend. You want to follow the poor fool who tries. It was the wolves that woke him, but it was the words that warned him of the danger. Scrambling to his feet, he could hear his attackers making their way down the tunnel. Without a second thought, Theron rushed behind the cooking pit and tugged on the rope. At the rear of Redoran's retreat, there is a large shaft that stretches to the surface, presumably dug out to rescue miners in the event of a collapse. Earlier that day, Theron had tied a rope to the base of the tree and dropped the other end down the hole. He never told the others. He wasn't entirely sure why, but it saved his life. It wasn't long before Theron began plotting his revenge. Javid was clever, but not much of a fighter. Theron was confident that a handful of men was all that was required to take back the hideout. The problem was finding men he could trust. It was one of his old fences, Argus, who offered to help. Javid had refused to deal with the Nord until he lowered his rate, whereas Theron, never one to argue over numbers, had always left it up to the smuggler's discretion. Argus also had a reputation for working fast, something Theron appreciated given the situation. Regardless, not even Theron expected the stranger to walk into the Thingspeak Inn 8 days after Argus promised to deliver him. "What are you looking at?" Theron asked, bending his lips in a scowl. He didn't like the stranger. There was something about him that reminded him of Javid. Maybe that was a sign, but of what he didn't know. "Name's Theron, I take it," the stranger said. "I'm here about the job." Damn, alright. This story's getting good. Fuck you. Good treasure map. Treasure map 17. Is that orc armor any better than my titty cover that I currently have? That's 59. That's 59 as well. It looks cooler, so I'm gonna keep it. But I'm not gonna wear it yet until I can enchant it and make it better than Linamore. so I killed some dude. It's supposed to be a rope. Remember? He said something about a rope in a shaft in the book. At the bottom of the sea. I'm gonna freak out every time I see a rope. Like, rope. Looks like it's sunny out there. I fucking don't. Actually, no, it probably is. It came in the dawn. Okay, so paper mirror. Gotta find volume 4 of the book. And it is apparently both in solitude. Okay. I love these little custom odd quests. They're fun. That sign is very bright!
Spare some gold for a veteran?
Sure.
Can you spare a septum? Oh, thank you. Divines bless your kind heart.
Oh, that's not a doorway. I've never been here, alright? Oh god, fuck. Oh,
I took an arrow in the knee.
you shut your fucking mouth about your arrows.
La 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 la. Oh, hello. Sorry,
Proud spy.
vocal cords.
Now there's a fine home. Up for sale, too. If you're interested, talk to the steward in the keep. Don't suppose you didn't...
That's Gerald Tullius, I don't want to talk to him yet.
I'm telling you.
Have you ever passed by the docks here and thought of just sailing away? Even when I was a knight, I often dreamt of faraway lands.
The writer stared at the final page, the ink dripping from the quill. The fire from the earth crackled behind him. Further down the dungeon, the guard made his nightly rounds, his boots rapping against the smooth stone. All around him time moved, but his hands stood still, unable to place the period at the end of it all. For the first time, the surface of the mirror looked serene. In the past, every sentence would swell into a towering wave, guiding the protagonist forward. Now not even the most violent prose could produce a ripple. The writer should have been relieved. Theron was dead, and he died by the writer's hand. The bastard would never again see the light of day. Neither would Cassandra. The writer lay his dagger on the table, the edge brimmed with fire. Beside it, the quill would lay languidly in the inkwell, promising a storybook end. The conclusion come with the stroke of a pen or slit of the wrist. The writer could only shake his head. He had little trouble fashioning the endings of his other characters, yet he struggled mightily to write his own. One last time, his hand reached forward, and his thoughts turned not to Cassandra, but to the protagonist of the story. It was an old writer's habit, to think of the beginning when he was so close to the end. Perhaps, he thought, there was another choice, beyond the one the mirror presented. The same one the writer proposed to Hamgoblin as the wiser course of action when he entered that dim cellar so many moons ago. Perhaps he could simply turn away. That's fucking crazy! That was a cool quest.